Okay, so how did the trial go?
I think the truth came out in the trial. The issue which I stressed in the trial is whether or not the public has a right to write to a public civil servant about her decision, and she can make up her mind, but at least they have the right to give an input. And that's the issue, I think, in the trial, and I hope that the judge understands that.
Yeah. And what do you make of them trying to say that receiving 1,500 emails is akin to violence?
Well, that's nonsense, because it's exactly non-violence. It's the opposite of violence.
Yeah.
And people like to use the word violence because that scares everybody.
Yeah.
You know, that's a good point.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
At one point, the fellow there, he suggested that it was his duty to go to see the police officer.
I wanted to apply.
There's no legal duty to do that.
But I didn't know if they would kick me out. No, I know. But I wanted to.
Yves, you want to make a speech?
Yeah, I mean, to me, the police officer abused their powers. They tried to impose conditions that violated my rights. They brought in charges that were then abandoned. And then when I organized a pushback, they brought in a whole bunch of other charges. And you have a prosecution that is so disconnected from the world that he's talking about violence and violence communication. It was a petition campaign, literally a petition campaign that ended off with sincerely. If this is a violation of the law, well, the law is the problem.
Yeah. What do you think about being put through all this, the time in jail and all that, for a simple letter writing campaign that people have done many times before?
Yeah, I mean, there was no reason, Dahlia Kurtz if anyone should be in the dock, it's Dahlia Kurtz for her incitement of genocide. The fact that I was held in jail for 5 days to be able to talk about a case that was totally odious, that they ultimately abandoned. It's because they wanted to impose these conditions that were contrary to the law, that the inspector should have known were contrary to the law, it's just a total infringement on rights. And again, this is the context of we have hundreds of Canadians who fought and killed in Gaza. And we don't know of one single person that's been investigated under Canada's War Crimes and Crimes Against Humanity Act for committing war crimes, engagement in genocide in Gaza. So me responding to Dahlia Kurtz on X had led to 5 days in jail, has led to a whole long political, legal battle, and not a single one of these people who've been participating in the Israeli military slaughtering is even investigated. It's a total embarrassment. It's a sign of how Canada is complicit in Israel's Holocaust in Gaza, and it should be denounced unequivocally.
And it seemed in some of the precedents that the prosecution was bringing forward, there was no clear example of somebody being found guilty for what you're accused of. And he talked about drawing a red line, or that you crossed a red line. Is he trying to draw this red line?
Well, I think that trying to understand this from the SPVM's perspective. What's the Montreal Police doing here? Montreal Police, it seems to me, is trying to carve out greater latitude to just say, oh, someone emailed us, someone called us, we didn't like it, oh, it's entrave, it's harassment, it's a violation of law. That to me seems what this is in a very narrow sense. The bigger picture, of course, is the genocide in Gaza. But in the narrow sense, this is the SPVM trying to get a precedent that says that, someone calls them and they didn't like the phone call. Oh, well, they're interfering in our affairs and harassing us, and so we can charge them. So it's very dangerous from the standpoint of strengthening the Montreal Police's and maybe other police departments' ability to wield that interference or entrave stick against those who are, standing up for social justice, opposing the inequities, and in this case, the complicity in genocide.
Yeah. And what do you think about?
They probably are being defensive as well to protect themselves from the lawsuit that you might bring because of the 5 days in jail. So if they can show that at least they thought they were in good faith, and they're acting in good faith, that might help their defense in that kind of a thing. And from my past experience, that's maybe why they went ahead with it, because they really have no case at all. But a petition is violent.
Yeah.
Action Network is a petition machine. Huh? And because you used Action Network, and so if only 10 people had answered, right,
Then it wasn't
then it wouldn't have been a deluge, right? And it wouldn't have been an entrave. But because a lot of people answered, a lot of people felt that as an injustice, it becomes an entrave. Yeah. That is such nonsense.
And
Thousands of people would sign a petition about domestic violence. That's what the prosecutor was suggesting, that somebody would be able to get thousands of people to sign a petition because they're accused of domestic violence. Exactly.
And the great irony, of course, is bitter irony, is that this is in behalf of a genocide that was in the midst of 100 people every day being slaughtered with Canadian bullets, Canadian weapons, and they're framing me emailing the Montreal police or having a petition campaign calling on people to allow open debate on X as violence against the Montreal police, or suggesting it was violence against Montreal. It's beyond.
And what about them making the link or equating being annoyed to being harassed?
Yeah, you got to imagine in a general day, an average Montreal police officer is annoyed by 1,000 things. Maybe the coffee machine next time is gonna be thrown in the slammer.
They're questioning our intelligence for signing the
That
petition.
actually comes from Sabine.
I wanted to sign it and I did.